Hey there, this is Cy Rodriguez, and I am making a video in response to Spirituality, Science, Ego, and Religion by Saul Rosenberg 84. And just want to address some of what he is attempting to convey about religion versus science, or creationism versus evolution, and his argument and where it's flawed. First of all, just want to go ahead and tell you, Saul, that I do believe you're a pretty educated person, and much more educated than I am in certain areas of science. And more power to you for that. I do believe in educating yourself and getting your facts straight before you try to have an argument with somebody about something that you don't understand. Now, coming from the other side, there are some things that you definitely don't understand, and you're making an argument against those things as if you knew what they were. And that is, for one, saying that all people who are creationists or people who are religious are in denial, and that they're somehow lost, and the only way that they can defend themselves is by crying like babies and saying, me, me, me. Let's just point out straight up where you're coming from with your own ego and your attachment to your own religion, which is based upon, which is a flawed religion called science, that attempts to explain where the universe came from or how life began through abiogenesis and continued through some form of evolution. It's so flawed, but beyond being flawed, it doesn't explain where matter itself came from. So to deny a person the consciousness, or to deny that the consciousness actually exists, that there are questions that are unanswered, is basically what you're doing. You're putting people into a box in the same way that you say creationists or religious people are putting people into a box, or putting themselves into a box. And just to go a little bit further with this example, you're saying that you're talking about truth. Okay, so let's just take a closer look at truth. What is truth? Truth is based upon facts, right? So if I'm authentically sharing with you from a place of truth, then I'm sharing facts with you, right? About who I am, what I believe, what I think, which is all based upon what I know and what's been taught to me and what I perceive with my senses. So, truth. What is between you and I right now, what we share, most important form of truth. But yes, there is a deeper truth. And what is that truth? Nobody living seems to know or understand. So that's why there is a debate. And it really is a debate because there are hypotheses or theories, not proven facts about the way that our existence came to be. So my argument about truth is that if Jesus was real, then Jesus was real. If that's a fact, then you can't argue with it. It's a fact, right? Same with evolution. If it's real, if it really happened, it's a fact. You can't argue with it. Now, based upon reasoning and logical, just going through a logical argument, we can say that there are only one set of facts that are true facts. Facts that, whether they can be verified or not verified because of our lack of perception and our short existence on this earth, can't be verified 100% for sure. Until we have more facts, we can't say that we know for sure that the way that somebody perceives the facts as happening didn't actually go down that way. So for you to deny the existence of Jesus, for example, or say that there's no need for Jesus, shows a very limited understanding of what Jesus is and what he represents. And you're also limiting understandings of a lot of things. Even when you refer to Alcoholics Anonymous and you say that when they tell people that you have to believe in a higher power, you're even limiting what a higher power can be. You're not even using your imagination to maybe give the benefit of the doubt to somebody that they understand that a higher power could even be what a lot of the New Age kind of spiritualists believe, and that is your higher self or something that is beyond your little ego mind. So you're limiting yourself in your understanding. And maybe if you would get into more conversations with people who don't believe exactly how you believe, then you would broaden your understanding. Going even more in depth into this understanding of limitations and how you are labeling certain words like religion. For example, the word religion has been defined as that which binds man or which brings man together, and you're saying it's that which divides or isolates, but maybe you're not seeing the core of what it's about. And maybe you think science and government, for example, or science is going to unite man. Sure, truth can unite. So if truth comes out of science, then great, we're all better for it. We have a better understanding of life, where we came from, how it all came to be. If we get that through science, then great. A creationist, a real creationist, somebody who thinks for themselves, is not going to deny the possibility that science has the answers to life, but it definitely doesn't have all of them right now. So I'm just coming in here and presenting to you a more in-depth understanding, and even one that comes from spirituality and that had originated in religion, and back to whether or not Jesus was real. A true Christian, or a person who believes in Jesus, for example, or who believes in the example of Jesus, or thinks that the example of Jesus was based upon truth and the reality of life, and that showed complex meanings of how life works and about how truth affects the darkness, and what was done to him as a result of him just being truthful. But focusing more in on Jesus and what he was he real or was he not? The deeper truth comes even in who is the real Jesus, and did Jesus really exist? We know that, at least for sure, that certain parts of the Bible are historical facts. Going back to Jesus, who was Jesus? Was Jesus who everybody thought he was? And what about the witnesses, the apostles, who continued to write on after the death of Jesus? What did they really see? What was their perception? Was it correct? How do you know if it was right or not? You don't know because you weren't there. One way or another, somebody who is really for truth, which is what Jesus was about and what he stood for and represented as the Son of God, which can have more than one meaning too, if you really just allow yourself to understand from a place where you're not taking somebody's dogma onto yourself and you're saying, okay, well, what did Jesus mean when he said this? Then you can be open to the possibility that the Son of God can even be something different than what you're interpreting it to mean for the masses of Christians who believe or have faith without any question. And I personally have no problem with those people who believe without question, and you never know because you're not one of them what that does for your life. And you don't even know if there is some possibility that that basic faith and that innocence, that childlike innocence, actually gives them a connection to God in a real way that you don't understand, that actually gives them some kind of joy in life that is beyond anything that you could possibly imagine coming from the place of a cynic. So, all I'm doing is trying to broaden your perception of truth and open you up to the possibility of just to the possibility that you could be wrong, because you could be wrong. And arrogance is one of the main attributes that I look for when I discern what is true and what's not true. Now, I guess there could be a certain form of arrogance that is just somebody who is so frustrated because they know something for a fact, they've seen it, they've witnessed it, and when somebody talks about something that is contrary to that it just makes them mad and they can't help but rant about it. But there's another form of arrogance that is basically your own ego telling you that you are somehow superior in your understanding of life and how it came about than somebody else, based not upon fact, but upon your beliefs being in congruence with your tribe. For example, your scientific community tribe that has been wrong about a lot of things, and you aligning yourself with them. That's the kind of arrogance I'm talking about, where you say that, okay, I know that I'm right for a fact, and anybody who doesn't agree with this is a stupid idiot, which I have definitely heard you say more than one time in your different videos. Now that is a denial of reality. That is arrogance, pretending that you really know when you don't know, when science can't even explain what it is that you're claiming that you have an understanding of. So, breaking it down, let's just go look at the Bible, and man, I could even go deeper in this, just because you're talking about, oh man, this is a tough one. You're talking about truth as you understand it. So your own, okay, let's go back to your arrogance. The Bible and the stories of Sodom and Gomorrah, the story of Noah and the ark, and the story of the Tower of Babel. These are all stories of people eating, drinking, and being merry. They probably felt very educated, felt like they were smart, felt like they had figured something out, like they were really the ones who had the understanding of how life was and what it meant. And anybody who believed in a God who was the creator of them, who was going to save them from doom, was just a silly idiot. And in all of those cases, those people were the ones destroyed, and the one or the few that were left were the ones who are actually believers. Now, this is not to say that that is the way that it was and will be, although I do see how it could be that way, because we live in a time of extreme arrogance. Lots of people believing that there is no God, there is no creator, believing in themselves, believing in what their agreement with others is above what their heart connection is to what they believe to be the divine or beyond themselves. God as they know God, the understanding of what is beyond them. And basically just believing that you understand something that you can't understand, and other people believing that there is a possibility that there's something greater than what we understand, and really being open to the fact or the possibility that that could be God. or a creator of them, a creator of this universe, a creator of all things. Why not? We don't know where the origins of life came from. And I would venture as far as to say is, like, good luck figuring that out. Once you've got a biogenesis down and you know what, and you actually can create life, like life as in an animated thing that moves and has cellular activity that's beyond just a protein strand or whatever. When you have that created that life, a biogenesis, then tell me where matter came from. Tell me where the matter came from that was able to create that life. And then explain how the physics of all of this were created. What was it innate in elements for them to be a certain way, or was it programmed into them by a higher being or a force beyond your imagination? Now, that's just a little bit of my rant. I don't expect, I'm not against you, and I'm not against anybody who's not against me, I guess. And I'm not saying I know or understand everything. I definitely don't. And I can learn and be educated by people who are younger than me, who have been pointed in different directions than me, as you can learn from people who have come from different perspectives in life than you've come from. And I do believe that I have brought up some questions for you that you have not answered and haven't even attempted to answer in any of the videos that I've seen by you. So just putting it out there. Let's see what you got, Saul.